Come on, Sept, behave. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Djuma Game Reserve this afternoon. And it is bait if we can maybe catch up with them again, but it'll be interesting to find out what they're up to. But otherwise, we're going to take it easy and take a drive around, find some more tracks and signs for you to guess at today. But there was one that caught my eye, and there's a little bit of a story behind this one because it caught my eye and I thought that's a bit of a strange place for this animal to go to the toilet. And I thought, well, I have seen it on occasion where they've just decided that they need to go rather than go in the toilet or midden. And as we stopped by, Seb says, "That's not what you think it is." And then he starts telling me that he actually saw the animal go here, and this is what I want to show you. And I was going to do it as a dung quiz, but it's a little bit too cruel now, so now that I know what it is. But just to bear in mind that everything is not always as it seems. But if Sebastian can maybe pan to the culprit.
Yeah, no, I don't think I can get it.
Are we a bit too close?
The vehicle is too close.
Okay, I need to just pull back a little bit. So I was trying to get you in the shade and it didn't work. Never mind. Awesome. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. Just thought I'd have a quick look around here, just for any signs of where the cubs might have gone. So far, I can't see anything. Go ahead. Okay. Some people saying that they couldn't hear really what I was saying about the dung because it was cutting out and buffering and all that. So, the dung that I was trying to explain to you, that even though it looked like hyena dung, something said to me that it was a bit odd that it was out there, and then I didn't think anything else of it. And then Sebastian actually said, "Hold on a minute, that's not what you think it is," because I actually saw the lion go to the toilet there. So if you remember in the past, I have said that sometimes lion dung can actually change colour from the dark black, which it usually is, to a white, especially when they've eaten a lot of bones. And that's why the hyena dung actually does turn white, because of the high content of calcium that they eat from the bones. But sometimes when the lions have had a high intake of bones, say like from an impala where the bones are quite soft and they can eat the bone, then they too will also have white dung, and it'll turn white over a few hours. I was watching the hyena dung that was left by the hyena. He left a present for me in the morning after trying to raid the bin, which it didn't succeed, by the way. It actually proofed it enough. Hyena proofed it. But I was watching the dung and it actually took about half a day for it to start turning white. But they usually do go in middens, although sometimes they don't. Sometimes they'll just be left. That's why it's quite useful to see if there's any tracks around, because that can also help. Like we had a pile upon pipeline or somewhere, and there were a couple of hyena tracks around there, so it could actually help. Okay. You're able to get that pile. So this is your first question of this afternoon's game drive. Who done it? And this, you can get a bonus question. Now bonus questions work if you don't get it right, it's not part of the total, so it doesn't do anything. But if you get it right, it's an extra mark to you for no extra cost. So at the moment the running total is out of 17. And let me grab a pellet. Or 2. There you go. Oops. No, come back. Okay, I'll have to hold it. So there you go, there's the pellets, there's the size of it. And that's where I got it from. So, which animal is it? Questions@djuma.com. Put your name and what animal you think it is in the subject title, and also for a bonus point if it's male or female. There you go, that's your first question of the day. But the bonus point, as I say, is not part of the total. It's not part of the total. It'll still be out of 17, but if you get the bonus point, it's an extra point to you guys. So you may be able to gain one back that you may have dropped somewhere else on the line. Okay. And if you're new to the game, you have to keep track of your own scores and see how well you do. And when we're doing a tracking assessment, it's often... Should we try Treehouse Dam? Maybe they've gone that way. There's no tracks crossing the road, but you never know. Might have missed something. So there goes cub tracks from this morning. Not great though, all over the show. When we do our tracking assessment, we usually have quite a number of questions over a day and a half. And we basically do exactly the same. We get asked what dung it is or what track it is, usually more tracks than dung, but signs as well, so we could get one that I'm thinking of giving to you, so I'm not going to say it. But either claw marks on the trees, that sort of thing, holes in the ground. So it's the tracks and signs of the bush. And you go through and you actually tell the assessor what you think it is. And then over so many questions, I forget how many it is, I think it's about 40 or 50, something like that. And then if you get between 60 and 70, you get a tracking level, 70 to 80, you get a tracking level 1, 70 to 80%. 80 to 90 is tracking level 2. And 90 to 100 is tracking level 3. And if you get 100%, then you're invited to go on and try for your senior tracker. And then you have to have a few years of experience behind you as well. And then you go on to be a master tracker. And even a scout. There's different levels. I must admit, I'd love to actually redo mine and see how I've progressed. So I took mine a couple of years ago now, actually. I last did it. And I just missed out on level 3. Just missed it. I had a couple of, because you also have 3 different marks. So if you have an easy track, then you gain 1 mark. But if you have a hard track, you gain 3 marks. And I think you also get minus points as well. I think if you get it wrong, if you get an easy question wrong, you lose 3 marks, and if you get an easy question wrong, then you lose a mark. I forget now if the marks are taken off. And if it's a medium, if it's an average question, you get 2 marks. A lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing it. Oh, awesome! Apparently there's some elephants at the dam. On the waterhole camera. I'll see if we can make our way around there. I'm a little bit far away. Ooh, giraffe. Yes, answers. Answers would be good. So Diane's first, Binky, Baz and Bob, Diane and Marsha. The first 6 back with the right answer. Well done. And apparently Diane got the bonus question right as well. Well done, Diane. Oh, got a bit of a mixture. Female, male and youngster. Young female. She's probably about 1.5 years old by the looks of her. You can see that tongue wrapping around the branch, pulling the branch into the mouth, and then she clamps her teeth together and strips the branch of its leaves. And if you look very closely, you might even be able to see the colour of the tongue. It's like this blue-black colour. It has melanin, that pigment. There's this black colour in the tongue. Now the only thing that I've found in the literature to really say why they have this coloured tongue, why they have melanin in the tongue, because it's thought because they're out in the sun, and they actually one of the animals that can spend a lot of time out right in the heat of the day. So they might actually get sunburn on the tongue, because actually further back you go, it turns this pink colour, and it's not sort of a straight line, it's sort of mottled, where it fades into pink. So there must be a reason for it to be black and have this melanin. So certainly it will protect the tongue from sunlight and maybe stop them getting sunburn. But I also wonder if it actually strengthens the tongue against thorns, because melanin is used as a strengthening material, and in bird feathers melanin is also used in those feathers that need a little bit of strengthening, like quite often the tail feathers. You'll often find black in tail feathers, and it just actually increases the length or the life of the feather itself. It's not as prone to deterioration than other pigmentation is, or even white, and it also helps to strengthen those feathers. So that's what my reasoning behind the thinking is. Maybe one day I'll do some research on it. Maybe someone is also researching it out there, who knows. Good afternoon. I've just come down to Treehouse Dam, and there's 3 Dlamiti here, if you're interested. 3 kilometer.
You are a darling, it's what I'm looking for.
They're here just on the northern side Treehouse Dam, just before you get to the dam from Philemon's Cut Line.
Okay, copy that. Thanks very much.
No, I had a scratch around Rebecca's Road, Philemon's Cut Line, where the Mumpimpans of Karula went in this morning and blew to so far. I might try there a little bit later.
Okay, copy that. Thank you.
Also a young male. Probably about a year's difference. And giraffes grow so rapidly in the first 6 years of their life, and it starts to slow down as they get older. They can grow 24 centimeters in the first week. It's extremely rapid growth. The first week of being born. So, was there any wrong answers there, Mark? Giraffe, springbok, wildebeest, bushbuck. Oh, quite a mixture there. So, what was it? It was impala. Impala, very small piece of dung. Why was it not giraffe? Giraffe are much larger. Giraffe, you're looking about this sort of size. And you may have noticed the giraffe walking as it was toileting. You might have seen that as it was walking away just then. And they generally will walk. Unless they're feeding, you won't really find a pile all on top of each other like that for giraffe. But even then, when they're feeding, even if they are standing still, it will generally be scattered because it's got 2 meters to fall. So you'll generally find giraffe dung scattered, but much larger. Wildebeest dung, much larger. Actually fairly similar in size to the giraffe, but it tends to clump together. So that's how you can tell wildebeest. Bushbuck, you wouldn't really find bushbuck dung out in the open like that, and also they're not territory holders, because that was actually a midden. And that brings me on to who dung it. It was actually a male impala, because it had been used as a toilet. There was a lot of dung there, and even from one animal in one sitting you wouldn't get that much dung. So that was from one animal over a period of time, and that was marking territory. So with bushbuck, they're not territorial, so you wouldn't find a large amount of dung like that together. So if you got impala, you can give yourself a mark, and we're up to out of 17. If you got the bonus question wrong, it's not to worry, it's still out of 17, so it's not out of 18 as it would be if it was a separate question, so it's still out of 17. But if you got the bonus question right, you've got an extra mark, so it makes up for one of the questions that you may have got wrong earlier in the quiz. So watch out for the bonus questions, they can help you out. This isn't Humgo, is it? I don't think it is, actually. was hoping he might have a notch in his ear. And speaking of ears, the hyena we saw this morning and yesterday is Floppy Ear. And I've put up the pictures of Floppy Ear a year ago. Almost a year ago to the day, actually. It was about a month out. The 17th of October, when she went missing last time she had cubs. And I checked, and she also has the little pink under her nose and the pink on her left ear. So that's undoubtedly Floppy Ear. So the question remains, whose skull did Mark find? Ooh, has he got a notch in his ear? Or is that just the way his eye's sitting? No, just the way his eye's sitting. Bless you, Seb. Wow. I'd actually like to go and join him. You can even see the hairs on his nose. Yeah. What was that? That wasn't very impressive. I'm not scared off by that. Another animal that's highly territorial but mainly in water, the hippo. And what he was doing there was displaying to us, you can see he's actually facing us now, he's displaying to us and saying, keep away, this is my water. But isn't not really pushing it home. You'd usually find them opening their mouths even wider than that and displaying those huge canines and incisors. Standing by? Negative, but thanks for the update. I'm going to avoid that, thank you. Copy, they must have just come out, I just missed them. Thank you. Okay. Sorry, Mr. Hippo. I'm going to leave you alone. And our little wader isn't here at Treehouse Dam. No, you're cutting out too much there, Mark. Hold on. It's amazing, there's just a few trees that are really starting to come through quite bright and green. And actually, the Gowrie is one of them, the magic Gowrie. You just see these just spots of green through the bush. Beautiful. And more giraffe over there. Note to self. Ah, there we go. Yeah, I can hear you now. Oh yeah, no, I was just thinking you should stop reversing because it's very windy today and keep getting dust. I've just done exactly the same thing, so note to self didn't work. To hear Ellen in Arkansas and possibly a few others are also in the same boat. Just wanted to know what happened with Karoo and the Cubs. I'm actually busy writing the blog. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to finish it off after drive. And thank you to everybody sending pictures through for that. So I'm almost finished, so hopefully it should be out tonight, otherwise tomorrow. So you'll be able to actually see the pictures what happened, but just a quick rundown while we watch some other spotted creatures. Curious spotted creatures. Jay. It's no good hiding behind your mum. Mirror image. Texan, come in. Yeah, if you don't locate those Tlamiti that side, there's some more on the southern side, just on the southern road that leads towards Treehouse Dam, in between Treehouse Dam and Weaver's Nest. Sorry, Ellen, just updating on the guides there. But we went back to the kill, and we did actually have a couple of internet problems this morning. We actually didn't think we were going to have you on board at all this morning, and then all of a sudden it came up. So we actually went out to see what Karoo was up to. and see how the kill was doing, and there was very little left. There was just a few legs. Just the legs left of the impala, and maybe a very, very small piece of meat left. So Shavinzi was busy feeding on it, and 3 hyenas were sitting at the base of the tree waiting patiently, Floppy Ear being one of them. And Shavinzi did actually end up dropping in 3 different pieces the legs and the bit of meat, and it was actually quite a quiet one this time. The hyenas, I think because there was a youngster there and Floppy Ear, there was really no debate as to who was going to have the meat, and it sort of fell right in front of Floppy Ear. So I think it was kind of a given that you don't try and steal from Floppy Ear. So yeah, very interesting. So anyway, the hyenas got their scraps that they've been patiently waiting for since yesterday morning, or at least yesterday afternoon. And Kruger took that as moving out of the loch, out of the area, because the hyenas had their tidbit, and she took her escape route, and she ran down the tree and ran off towards where one of the vehicles was parked, and then she slowed down because I think she realised she wasn't being followed. And then the third or fourth hyena came in and actually started walking after her, and that's when she ran off, and that's why I thought she'd actually gone. And the cubs were watching her, and then they settled down, and then Shivambalana decided no, he wanted to join her, and they were actually looking over in the same direction, and I actually did start to wonder if she was there, and I thought, oh no, she's probably gone, and just told them to wait. But sure enough, as he came down the tree, and he started running and realised that the hyenas weren't even following him. They kind of just looked up and kind of was like, oh, okay, well, fine, bye. We're just going to stay here. So he went and he joined her, and she came out of the bush. And then once he joined her, Shavinzi decided, okay, well, sleep's over, I must join her as well. And then we caught up with them on the other side, and as one of the other vehicles was reversing, I think they got a fright, and they ran over towards Rebecca's Road, and that's where we lost them. Okay. Well. Hi, Diane. And good afternoon to you. And saying last time you saw Floppy Ear, she was pregnant. That must have been when I was on leave. Hello. I didn't see her when she was pregnant, and I didn't actually notice that she was pregnant. We didn't get a great view of her body. She was sitting down for most of the time, and when she was walking, she was in amongst the vegetation. But it could be that she's had cubs somewhere, and it could be that's why we're not seeing her, because I remember last year, it was actually this time last year, she disappeared for a good 2 or 3 months. And I wonder if that was when she had her previous litter. Although it's a bit funny because the ones that I think were hers. So I've been trying to put all of this together from what we've been watching and what we've remembered. There's 6 cubs there now, plus Teddy, who makes the 7th. Now, if you remember a long while back, there was the female with the 2 notches in her right ear, and she didn't join the communal den for a long, long time. And remember, she had 2 cubs. And then we actually saw her at that communal den site on Zoe's Road after the cubs had got a lot older. And those, I think, are the 2 cubs. Actually, we'll go Chelapan Road. Those are the two old cubs, and they're probably about a year and 3 or 4 months old now. So they probably are at that stage where they're fending for themselves. Then the other 4 cubs, which are very similar in age, I remember we saw Floppy Ear nursing 2 of them, and what I thought may have been her daughter nursing the middle 2, and then there was actually another 2, the younger one. So it was actually 6 when we first found them on Philemon's cud line in that den. So taking away the female with the 2 notches in her right ear, there was 6, all very similar age, at Philemon's cud line. Now when they moved, I only remember seeing one very young one and the 4 older ones. So I remember seeing 5 up on Zoe's road, and now I don't see a size difference to suggest that there is a youngster there. So we've only been seeing those 4, who I thought the 2 were from Floppy Ear and 2 from another female. So I haven't seen that youngster since we saw the female with the middle 2 take some meat back, and she was actually chasing off 3 cubs. She was actually chasing the older 2 and the younger 1 away. And that was just before we closed down Safari TV. And now Teddy's been born, so he's the youngest now, or he or she. So I've just been trying to piece together and try and work it out, but I'm a little bit confused if she was pregnant, because I would have thought those 2 cubs would be a little bit young, but maybe they're not. Maybe they are starting to fend for themselves, and maybe they were actually born a little bit earlier than what we thought, quite possibly. But it was this time last year that she was still looking pregnant, so they can't be more than 10 months old. But quite an interesting one, unless we just, I'd say, unless I'm remembering it wrong and we didn't actually see her nursing. But I'm sure we did. I'll have to try, and maybe someone can remember. Maybe someone can go back through footage or can actually remember if we saw Floppy Ear suckling. Because it's just the size difference between those really old cubs and the 4. So yeah, but she came off, she actually cut through this, no, it was this side, wasn't it? She cut through after Karula ran off. Floppy Ear actually cuts through into this area. So I think maybe let's go and check out Battalier Road and Nyala Road south, because it could be she's using that den round there. Because remember we had the den a little while ago here. And as Mark says, maybe she has been dethroned. Maybe something's happened in the ranks. Be a bit unusual, but again, this is nature, anything is possible. Just wanted to have a quick look around here. See if the wind has destroyed. Hi Keith, welcome from my homeland, UK. Wonder if it's nice and chilly over there, or if you've actually got sunshine for a change. I hope you've got the latter. I'm wanting to know what does the hippo eat for an animal so large? What do they eat? Hippos are quite an interesting animal, and actually, if you think about it, most of the large animals are vegetarian, and that's exactly what the hippo is. He eats grass. he's a grazer, and they leave the safety of the water for the skin as well as predators, but mostly for the skin, because the skin is actually very sensitive to the sun. So they use it to protect their skin during the hot days and leave the water at night. Unless it's the winter, when the sun isn't as strong, then you do get them leaving the water during the day. And there's a track here, I want you guys to identify. But also his lifestyle. He's got a very slow metabolism. So actually an animal that size, you're looking on average about 1.8 tons. An animal that size, you would have thought he'd need to eat a lot more grass than what it does. It's about a third. It takes in about 40 kilos of food on average. Average size he'd put about 40 kilos of food. And that is because of this slow metabolism, and it's thought that also helps, especially in the winter time with cold water, because they're not losing a lot of heat. So they won't feel the cold as much. Otherwise, I think somebody's driven over them. That's a shame. Actually, let's go around. See if we can find more. And then we'll head up Twin Dams, go and see if we can catch up with the elephants. Come back down, vulture's nest and around. Here, and compared to the size of my hand, it's pretty similar. It's pretty similar. I'm looking at. So you know, when I'm tracking, I usually just use where it is on my hand. So I usually have points along my hand where I know it's going to be a certain size. So I know to that little part of my thumb, it's 5 centimeters. To about here, it's 7. So it kind of gives me a guesstimate. But just for you guys at home, because obviously you don't have that luxury, you don't know how big really my hand is. So we're looking about 11, 12 centimeters. About 11 centimeters for this particular animal. Very old, you can see nice and rounded. There's been a lot of wind though. But if it was nice and fresh, you can see even in this substrate, okay, the sand's quite rough. But you should be able to see those nice straight lines there. Whereas here, as I say, they are very rounded because of the wind. So a good couple of days old. This is nice and fresh. So question number 2, if you just joined us, questions@djuma.com, name and what your answer is in the subject line. Let's jump aboard and see if we can catch up with those elephants. Cool. Are we up?
Yep.
Awesome. Wind. What about that? Okay. Better remember that one. Baboon track coming through. Nice try, but remember this particular animal you can mix it up with a baboon and it looks more like a human. The foot. Oh, hello hyena. Oh, look who it is. Hello lady. Can you see her?
Very control, but I'll get there.
See if I can actually follow where she's going. Sorry Mark, was that Floppy Ear this year, suckling June the 28th? Aha, who was that from? Shirley. Shirley, thanks Shirley. Apparently she was suckling the cubs June the 28th. So she was a mama. Julie or Cam. Oh, okay, there's two, Camilla and Julie. Those two names. Oh, Cam and Shirley, sorry. Where are you going to, lady? Wait for us, wait for us. I wonder if there's actually... Oh, there we go, she's waiting for us. Nice one, lady. Having spoken about Floppy Ear. Raisa, male. You got that part right, but leopard, nope, sorry, not a leopard. Close though. Nope. Okay, a couple of right answers coming through. Actually, you know what? I will accept thinking about it because of the sand and the way it was. Because I just suddenly remembered, actually, there is the big male leopard who is also 11 centimeters. So it could well be... Oh, I don't think I'm going to get through there. Floppy Ear, where are you taking us? How are we doing? Do I need to go back a bit?
Yeah.
Or can you unhook the, you might have to actually unhook the aerial. Okay, Floppy Ear, where are you going? It's actually the same road, Mark, that you found those big male leopard tracks, but also the lion tracks. It's the same one. But I think actually I may have misidentified it and thought it was lion, but I think with the sand pushing it, I think it could actually be the leopard tracks. Goes to show sometimes you can get it wrong. But she's going back to that part of the drainage line that we lost her in, I think. Station's got one in BC, just on Chelapan Road. Where did she go? I had one in BC on Chelapan Road. See, for me, those toes were actually quite oval, which is characteristic of the lions, and quite far from the pad, which is also characteristic of the lions. But as I say, it could be that the foot slipped in the sand, so I'll accept both. Where did she go? Can you see anything that might resemble a death? Not really. Not really. Sorry, you were breaking up there a little bit, Mark. Ooh. I think Jennifer was saying if we gave Floppy Ear a nicer name like Sandra, she might stick around. That's what was coming over. Could well be. Oh, Cassandra. Oh, sure. I think she already has taken us on a scenic route. Oh well, it's worth trying. She could have just led us, but it was just a little bit too thick through here. But I wonder if she was actually cooling off. Her back end did look a little bit darker. Maybe she'd been sitting in the water for a little bit. Oh, there she is. Is that her or is that somebody else? No, that's somebody else.
Oh, that's another one.
Yeah, it's another one. I wonder if this is the den here. Hello. Where's Floppy Ear? Can you open the iris a little bit? Let's see if we can follow. Something funny is going on here. So it is nice to know. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It looks possible. This could be a den. Did you see which way it went? Did it go over there?
She went there on top of the...
She actually went on top of the mound.
Around it. She's on the other side now.
Is she? So it is nice to know where the den sites are. And with it being where Karula was, so she couldn't be too far away. Oh yeah. Yeah, it does feel like they're difficult to track Peggy. Oh, there's a couple of them over there, isn't there? I can't get through. Oh. Maybe I can. Hold on. I can see the road. We're just here. Ow. Come on, Gunda Gunda, you can do it. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Square peg round hole again. Right. Open the iris a bit. You reckon just in here? Yeah, we're just in front of that big area. Big termite mound. If I can squeeze through here. Oh, we have quite a big log in front of us though. Not helpful. missed that one. I wonder if it is this. So we're back. Ow. We're back where we started. Let's see if we can go on this side of it. Because we saw her coming back through here, didn't we?
Yeah.
Unless it's somewhere else. Bless you. Again. Oh! Well, we'll have to keep this in mind. We should definitely have to keep this in mind. A black screen. Oh, and we're back again? Okay. Well, that was a bit of excitement. How's it seeing Floppy Ear in the middle of, well, say middle of the afternoon? Okay, so who's first back with the answer? Zzz. Oh, we're still black screen. Or are you back again? Yeah, I thought you said we were back again. Ah. Oh, okay, we are back again. So, who came back with the right answers? So I thought, I had in mind, yeah, I think leopard. I actually had it in my head it was lion, but thinking about it, I think it was that big male we saw. With it being 11 centimeters. Buzz, Diane, Donna, Julie, Raisa, all came back with leopards. The 11 centimeters, we actually, I think Mark actually measured it as 11 centimeters, that big male leopard who came through here. I say my first impression was lion, but with Mark actually being on the same road, And with it being thick sand, I'll give the benefit of the doubt and say leopard. But as I say, sometimes you can have a track like that which can be one or the other. That's why sometimes it's quite handy having a couple of people who are able to recognise tracks, and sometimes you will get them saying, no, I think it's this, and no, I think it's that. And even expert trackers I've seen. And I always remember on my first day, ooh, slender mongoose. Oh, there it goes. On my first day of work, I remember we went out to do some tracking, and the head guide at the time, brilliant on tracks. And he said, no, there's a jackal through here. And there was another guy and said, nuh-uh, it's not jackal. And he said, yes it is. And they were having a bit of a debate, and then she actually said, no, look, this is why. And she actually showed him, and then it just suddenly dawned on him. And he was like, oh, sure, yes, you are right. And this was a guy who knew his tracks extremely well. So there's always room for error. So yes, leopard for that one. Benefit of the doubt, 11 centimetres, that big male. So if you had leopard, but if you had lion as well, I'll give it to you because that was my first impression. So if you had lion, I'll give it, you can have a point as well. So you've just got to write it in my book. So, by this time I think the elephants are probably gone, but let's try anyway. Okay. Good to hear from you. Naomi lives in Pretoria. Hope you're well, Naomi, and happy birthday. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And I shall certainly try and find some kudu for you. Wondering how old Karula is and when will she start mating as well. And Karula is 7 years old. She was 7 in March. And it's anybody's guess as when she's going to start mating again. I think probably when the cubs stop responding to her, then she might start to come into estrus 3 or 4 months later. I think I must write some of these dates down actually, but I think it was just when the boys, Mishu and Duna, her last litter, when they got to about just under 2 years old, they stopped responding to her calls. They actually didn't come when she called them for dinner, and I think that was the start of us seeing the boys not together anymore, not together with Karula. And it was, I think it was around May or June. I know we asked this the other day. I really need to take note of what these dates are, but I think it was 3 or 4 months later. It was around August. Well, it was August the 1st. I know that date. That date will be forever ingrained in my head because I actually was witness to the mating. And then the following day we actually caught them mating on camera. But 4 o'clock in the morning I heard Karula, it was either Karula or Yambini, making a noise outside my bedroom. They were walking up the path that we walk daily to get to the workshop and where the gunder's parked. I just heard a loud and I actually thought it was lion to begin with, so I jumped up out of bed, looked out my front door, couldn't see anything. I thought, oh well, the lions have probably gone off. And yeah, the elephants have gone. Too slow. And I actually had a look. I thought, well, let me just look outside my side window. And just as I actually lifted up the curtain, Karula walked out of the shadow. It was very mystical and magical, but she actually walked out of the shadow into the road, into the moonlit road. She lay down. Yambidi came, covered her, and it was literally just a few seconds, and then she turned around and tried to wallop him one. And obviously they must have been mating a few times, or at least he remembered from last time he mated with her, and he neatly just jumped out the way and avoided her paw. And she rolled around, and then I actually thought I was watching in the shadows. Oh, Ellie! Beautiful big Eddie bull. I'm just going to see what he's doing. And she actually turned round and looked straight at me. And then she decided to move away, back into the shadows. Absolutely incredible. Had she have not called, I would never have known they were there. It was very quiet. I wonder if this Eddie wants to come over the down wall. He looks like he might want to. Let's see where he wants to go. It looks like he is possibly in must. You can see, yeah, his penis is dribbling. The temporal lobes are weeping. This is a bull in must. I wonder if this is the one. Did you guys see this guy the other day? Down by Treehouse Dam.
Oh, I can't remember how his tusks were.
Yeah, you can see just on the inside of his legs where the urine's dribbling. And even just that posture, he was just lifting his head up. Wasn't too sure about us. Gonna come down to drink. We'll just back up just a little bit. See if we can. Or is he gonna come round the back? No, he's going that side. He's not sure about us actually. Stations, one my daughter and love, Gowrie Dam. Yeah, I can smell him now. The wind's getting quite strong. Possibly on his way to actually find the herd that was here. Now, a bull comes into must, and it is a heightened level of testosterone that runs through his body, and that actually drives him to go and mate. And generally females will favour bulls in must. And I remember being asked a while ago, will a must bull try and mate with a female? And what we've seen is that's possibly a yes. But when a bull's in must, he becomes a little bit more aggressive, and his standing in society is elevated. So even if there's a large bull that's not in must, he'll generally be sort of more accepted because of the show of dominance, and he will assert that authority. So it could be a slightly smaller bull, but he is more attractive apparently when he is in must. But that's what drives them to move away from maybe the home ranges, the areas that they frequent, and that will drive them to actually go and find a female herd and females who are in estrus to go and breed with. And the females will actually give what's called an estrus chorus. They actually have a special call to try and pull the bulls in. So if they do have females that are in estrus, they make this call, and all females will join in, young and old, and that will help the bulls to locate the females. And the females are only in estrus for maybe 2 to 6 days. But if they haven't mated, then apparently after a month or two they come into estrus again. And the bulls, it's so varied. They could be a few days, a few months that they're in must. It's usually every year they do come into must. But the presence of older bulls does actually suppress younger bulls coming into must. So there is an age thing going on there as well. So if there's a lot of older bulls present, the younger bulls generally don't come into must until they're much older in life than if there's no bulls there. If there's no bulls, old bulls, they'll start to come into must fairly young. And they can actually cause quite a lot of havoc if there's no one there to keep them in line. And unfortunately they found that one out the hard way in Pilansberg and a couple of other places, when young bulls were relocated without females and without old bulls, and the young bulls actually ran amok, and they were causing a few problems, like pushing cars over and even practicing mating on rhinos. And they were actually breaking rhinos' backs because there was no elephant there, well, obviously to practice on, but also there was no other animals to keep them in line. And they actually became a little bit like juvenile delinquents. And then the decision was made to take in adult bull elephants, and that actually did suppress them, and they stopped coming into must as often. But it was only when they brought in the females did the problem actually decrease altogether. So even having just the females and the females in the area, it is needed to keep these young boys in check.
I'm getting over again. Any check? On the phone? You on the phone? Got a name. What you got there? Yeah, we tried to follow the segment from this morning here. Look, he took the donga towards the side. We okay, come no way, let's mama from this morning. I'm not sure, but it must be from more for the Rebecca and the donga. Okay, thanks.
Andrew, come in. Andrew, come in. Good, thanks, Andrew. Just to let you know, we had the 2-man pimpans run across towards Rebecca's Road this morning, and Karula stayed around by the old Mbisi Kaya, just off of Philemon's cut line, just close to where she was sitting in the marula tree. I'm going to have another look around there a little bit later on.
Okay, thanks. Also, thanks for the side as well.
Copy that. Yeah, I'm just at Gowrie Dam at the moment with One and Love. He's just slowly fambering in a northerly direction. Apparently there was some more and love earlier on.
Okay, thanks.
He's actually smelling the ground there. Possibly there was some dung from the females. Might just be able to check to see if there's any in estrus. You can even see there's some zebra right in the back there, to the left of your screen. Beautiful. Should just about to go. Let's just see if he's going to do anything with the leadwood that he's walking towards. I think he's actually scratching himself. Okay. So if we can get around there, it'd be nice to actually see him scratching his head. Quick mosey on down there. So Naomi, just going back to your leopard question, it really will depend on, I think, when these coasts become independent, and if they become independent fairly early in their life, then she might come into estrus a little bit more quickly than if they still rely on her when they're about 2 years old. I see a warthog. Oh, by the way, George, the warthog, lives around the lodge, wasn't got by in Vula. I was a bit worried that he had been, but we saw him the other day, which I'm very happy about. No, George has got a tail.
Oh, does he have a tail?
Yeah.
Ah.
Might have been though. It looks a little bit small for George actually, that one. Oh, we got some waterbuck. Oh, George, this one here. Or were you talking about that one over there? That's George. There he goes. I thought you were talking about that one over there.
Yeah, I was. I thought George was tailless.
No, George has got a tail. That was George. I don't know who gave him the name George. And there goes the waterbuck and impala. Oh, we need to find some kudu. Check the elephant chasing the impala there, look. Bless you. Oh, he's gone. Hi, Bets. Good afternoon to you. Oh, zebras are coming down to drink, that's why. Wanting to know how many teeth are in the elephant's jaw. He's giving a little bit of aggro to the zebra at the back there. But they have the two incisors that you know about that you can see, but actually in their jaw they have the conveyor belt. Oh, zebra's crossing the water. They have the conveyor belt almost of teeth, so the teeth actually grow from the back and move towards the front. So they have the remnants of one set of teeth. Oh, look at this. Well, why are you spooking yourselves now? That's a bit silly. A little bit skittish. Now don't be skittish. Yeah, they're letting off Lolo. Let me move and see if that will actually help them. Just move around a little bit. I think they're actually deciding to go around. Yeah, they are deciding to go around. Come on, guys. What's wrong? That's the thing, if they don't feel comfortable... Oh, someone just spooked the impala and the waterbuck on the other side there as well. If they don't feel comfortable, they won't risk it. It's not so much hippo, it's crocodile. And if there's been a crocodile around here, then taking it easy and making sure might just save their life, although the crocodile hasn't been seen for a little while. But maybe they know something that we don't. Come on, guys, you're going to try again. You're going to take the long way around. I'd love to see them crossing. Oh, Ellie's going to get aggro. Oh, check, check, check. They're really a little bit worried. Go on, you go. No, you go. I'll just take one and then they'll all go. I'm getting irritated with each other. Come on, guys. Well, this one might do it. This one might go for it. Oh, Ellie in the background as well. Oh, we need two cameras again.
Right there.
Oh, right.
You can be at my unit corner.
And move so you guys can cross the other side. Maybe we'll just kind of cross and see the alley. He's just been stretching up to eat. He's not happy about them coming this way. I see him shaking his head. Yeah, there he goes, there he goes. He's going to chase after them. He just stopped his, just by the bush. I just saw his whole body just lunge forward.
We're calling them.
She's braying.
Huh?
She's braying.
There you go. You're gonna come back.
Yeah, they're coming back.
They're very confused.
Yeah, they just really don't know what to do. I don't know what it is about this corner. Maybe this is where the crocodile was actually hunting a lot, in this corner. They don't like this corner too much. It looked like they were going to come back this way.
They're over there now. They're
Yeah,
coming
here they
back behind us.
come. I'm just going to pull back from the water and just see if that will actually encourage them to go. I don't think it's us, but just in case it is. They're going to go that way. There we go. Yeah, running around. There they go. They're going to go over the damn wall now. After all that. Oh, sorry, did you say on consoles or the Ingwe itself?
Sorry, that's Lamit Toyo.
Sorry, I heard Ingwe, no matata. I'm just on Central at the moment. I'm going to be doing Vulture's Nest and then heading back around towards the old Mbisi Kaya.
I'm going to swim past the treehouse dam and slow you down to the one piece there as well.
Okay, I'm on the lookout for kudu. Where does I see a load of kudu? We're in the right habitat for them. While we're waiting for the answers to come in, is there any more questions? So did people see the track or not? Oh, okay. Apparently there was something that happened with the stream. Such a nice track. Okay, some people not seeing the track, so I think something happened with the stream. Sounds like a plan. Hi, Gilly. Good afternoon to you. And one does, picking up the comment I made, that if she hadn't have barked or called, I probably wouldn't have known that they were there. And it was funny because I actually don't remember them making a sound. I think she snarled, but it wasn't that loud. And Giddy's saying is that subtle difference between big cats and small cats, because when the small cats mate, it's quite noisy because the penis is barbed, and when the male's actually mating, obviously it can hurt quite a lot. And it's actually the same as in leopards and lions, and that's what was quite weird, was the fact that she was very quiet. And I don't think that was the norm. We have seen the lions be quite loud. I think either he didn't really penetrate her properly, or maybe that she'd been mated a few times before. I don't know, because I mean sometimes I have seen the lions mate and they just sort of snarl, or they don't make a sound, but they just try and swipe. So I think it just depends, and I think it was just one of those matings that I saw where she just didn't. I don't remember if she was actually calling too loudly on the mating that we actually caught on camera. But they also do have a barbed penis, and it's to actually stimulate the female to release the eggs. So the females don't release the eggs until they start mating, and it's that process of mating stimulates them to release the eggs. So it can take a few days, an average of about 3 days, and leopards and lions especially every 15 minutes or so. But the mating is very, very brief. But just like a domestic cat, it is barbed. Interesting. Hi, Bree. Good afternoon to you. And asking about elephants in must. And must is the Urdu word for intoxicated, and it's M-U-S-T-H, must. Come on, kudu, you're usually around here somewhere. Sorry, Naomi, I'm trying my best. We saw lots of kudu earlier on today. I will keep trying though. And wondering if they all come into must and estrus at the same time, the elephants, or whether one is drawn in by the other, or stimulated by the other. And that, I don't know if they would be stimulated. So we have seen non-must bulls with the females on occasion. Could be they're just passing through. But as I say, when the females do come into estrus and they give off this call, they will then draw in any bulls who are in must. They'll draw those in. And they're actually letting them know that they are ready to mate. So I don't think they would actually stimulate each other. But never say never. Maybe it's just not been seen. But I wouldn't have thought so. The males, once they come into must, it drives them to go and look for the females, whereas if they're not in must, they tend to be quite happy in the areas that they might live in. They may have a few friends there, and they socialise with other bulls. You know, it's quite a complex society. But when they get into must, as I say, that does drive them to go and search for females, and they may leave those areas and go and search for females. It could be there's females that actually cross into their area where they frequent. But they do have huge home ranges. I mean, they will have their favourite areas within that home range, but they don't mark territory, they don't defend that area. So from what I know, I wouldn't have thought so, Bree. But they don't always go into estrus or must at the same time. It can be any time of the year. Although during the rainy season, you tend to get a lot more matings apparently. You do tend to get the females and males coming into, most of them coming into estrus.
Fantastic. Alrighty, just over 1,000 viewers. Well done everybody, let's keep it up. And I do need to give you another track because apparently the track that I found for you people didn't see. Or have you been getting answers through Mark? No one got it. Okay, I need to find another track before the sun sets. Oh, it was a beautiful track as well. Very upset. Okay.
Why didn't they get it?
No worries, no worries. Okay, let's see. Ah. Okay, I found another track exactly the same as luck would have it.
I thought you could get it from there actually. So I had a couple more. Let me just pull forward a little bit. Lucky.
Okay, going some now.
Just let me pull forward a little bit more because there's some nicer ones here. Yep, sound can go down.
Did you drive too far?
Yeah, I did go too far. I thought I had some nice ones here. Oh, here. Can you see this one here? Oh, not really.
No, it's fine.
Okay, can you see it? Okay, so if you can hear me, this one here, you seeing that all right?
Yeah.
Yep. So you're seeing both sides of the track. And it's about 5.5 centimeters. And there's quite a number of them. There's quite a number here and over here. There's a few down there as well. So this is a herd animal because we are finding a few. And that's one thing about tracking. You have a look to see if there's any others around or whether it's a solitary animal. So that helps to point it in the right direction. These animals are a little bit more difficult, even though you may recognise it as a certain type of animal. Once you start getting into the nitty-gritty, it's a little bit more difficult. So size does help. And look how neat it is as well. It's a very neat track, very dainty track. And think of an animal that may have a track that's very dainty like this. So send your answers through to questions@djuma.com. And again, in the subject line, what it is and what your name is. But let's jump aboard. So I do want to head over that way again. See if we have any luck with Crew and the Cubs. And I think we'll take Chelapan Road to see if we bump into Floppy Ear again.
Alright.
Okay, awesome. I'm still looking for kudu. Oh, sorry.
This thing's gonna kill someone one day.
I nearly did that the other day as well. Seb nearly took himself out. There's a handle on the back of the camera there. And he took himself out. And I nearly did that the other day with you. Hi Shirley. I'm wanting to know, are zebras' stripes the same on both sides? And they're actually not. And just like a lot of things in nature, there's very few things that are symmetrical. Even we as humans, have you ever done that trick where you cut your, take a picture and cut your face in half, and then you flip the other half over, and you actually get two different pictures of yourself, because even we as humans are not symmetrical. And I remember being asked this a while ago, and we weren't 100% sure, and I did look the other day, and they're not actually symmetrical, and it makes sense. It does make sense, because like leopards aren't symmetrical either. Leopards, if you look at the faces, they do have slight differences on each side. So it does make sense. Sorry, starlings. Oh, Linda, Virginia, Nathan. So is that Nathan and kids? Emily and Connor. Oh, and the okay, sorry. Emily and Connor. Hi, Emily and Connor. Nathan's kids. Well done. Sally. Also, well done. Mr. B. Good to hear from you, Mr. B. Well done. So I can't fool you guys. And Ellen in Illinois. Good to hear from you as well. Well done. Correct. Was there anybody that got it wrong? Any wrong answers? Zebra, Nyala, Waterbuck, Springbuck. Oh, Springbuck came up again earlier on. We don't have Springbuck here, unfortunately. Whoever keeps sending Springbuck through, you won't find it here. Wrong habitat altogether. They prefer the open grasslands. So no Springbuck. Can't give you half a point. This was the little animal I was talking about earlier. And true to its name, to dive, deka in Afrikaans. I was hoping to show you the little animal that we were talking about with a diet where they do eat caterpillars and fungus. And even little birds have been found in the diet of a deka. I said I'll check up on that for you, and I did. Insects, small rodents sometimes, even a lizard has been found in a belly of a deka, as well as the usual food of a browser. Seed pods and fruit and leaves and bark. So why is the track not zebra? Think of a horse.
Hyena.
A horseshoe. Hyena? Hyena. Oh, hyena. Hello, hyena. Young hyena, one of our pups. Cubs. Following a warthog. Can you see the warthog?
Yes.
Actually, just a little bit bigger than the warthog. Yeah, you're looking for trouble there, mate. Definitely looking for trouble. Yeah. I think the warthog is more likely to chase the hyena at this stage. But never underestimate the hyenas. They are extremely good hunters in their own right. But they are masters of survival. Hence why they do scavenge as well. What if it's actually trying to be submissive? I'm not going to eat you. And that's exactly why. Look at those teeth, the tushes. They're canine teeth, and you can actually see quite nicely the top pair, but then the bottom pair that are rubbing against, and that's the sharp ones from the bottom of the jaw. And that is quite a formidable weapon. And even leopards or lions will be very wary when tackling a warthog, especially a warthog that size. Yeah, I think you do well to get out of the sight of the warthog. Need to find a warthog track for you. They're quite square. But good to hear that there was no carnivores in that mix. That's something. But yes, if you think about a horse with the horseshoe, that's what you're looking for in the zebra, that nice curve, that arc. Nyala, just like the Dacre and the kudu, who I'm still looking for kudu. I can't believe I've not found any kudu again. I might have to ask if anybody's seen kudu at this rate. But Nyala, ooh. Okay, this is going to have to be your next question actually. And possibly the last one for the day because we are losing the light. Nyala you'll find walking track on track. Front foot goes down, the back foot goes directly over the top. So you would see, not all the time, but with all the other tracks, it is Impala. And you can tell very nicely it was Impala. Very neat track, very dainty and very pointed. And as I say, the Nyala, one foot goes directly over the top most of the time. But as I say, there was all the other tracks around which were Impala as well, which can also help indicate which animal it is. This is your probably final track of the day.
Okay, I'm going to listen down.
Is it coming out all right?
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I need to.
Your best bit here. We good?
Not yet. I can do a better job than that. Hold on. I'm just gonna try to zoom in on the track and then follow it. So
How do you do, Seb? We
yeah.
good?
Yeah, I think it's fine now.
Okay.
I
So we've
think
got
they're
sound as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So this is what we're looking at here. This bit here. I think someone did drive over a couple of bits. So we're missing this bit here and we're missing this bit here. But otherwise, hopefully you can see that quite nicely. No marks either side. We've just got this part and that part especially. So think of an animal that would be moving like that. You can even see the tail nicely here.
So show that again.
You can see the tail here. That's the tail tip. And the body, and then the tail tip coming in here again.
Show that again. Sorry, I was on the tail.
So the body here,
Yeah.
and then the tail tip coming in here. And look at how it's moved as well. It's not gone in a straight line. It's done this wavy, quite unmistakable track. So again, questions@djuma.com, and in the subject line your name and what animal you think it is.
Cool.
Oh,
Okay, thumbs up.
mic was down. They didn't hear me.
No? Who's moving in?
Oh, okay. Apparently it was very soft. Okay, so what I was saying is hopefully you could see the track sort of doing this, and there was no feet either side, nothing either side, and also where I was pointing out the body, you had the body, and then that very thin line was the tail. So quite an unmistakable one, but hopefully you can recognise what animal did it. So questions@djuma.com. Awesome. Sounds like everyone might have just got the right answer here. Shelby! Well done, Shelby. First off the mark there. Cooktoy! Good to hear from you, Cooktoy. Second place. Donna, Eleanor. Linda in not so hot Dallas. In a much cooler climate. Binky, well done Binky, in 6th position. Well done everybody, it sounds like everybody was getting it right. It was a snake track. No feet either side of the track this time. Just obviously that's one thing to watch out for with the water monitor. Just thought we'd give the old hyena den a quick go. I can't believe I'm not finding a kudu. The day I need to find kudu, they go. Gone. I need a kudu. I haven't even seen a kudu track. But maybe we'll try Treehouse Dam again. Ah, some people were coming back with monitor lizards. So just remember with the monitor lizard you're seeing the feet as well. So you'll see the body and the tail, but then the feet, and remember they'll drag the feet and drag the claws, and then they do that motion, and then do that motion. And remember, snakes don't always do this. So they can sometimes go in a straight line as well. Oh, and a crocodile from Kami. Nice try, Kami. But a little bit too small, even for a young crocodile, which would stay mostly in the water. You wouldn't see it venturing that far out, usually. I really thought we might see some activity here. Okay. Never mind. Hi, Hi, Patty. Good to hear from you. Oh, there's a hyena. Hyena did come through here. Hyena's probably checking to see if there's any more scraps left. But apparently there was a couple of hyena at Pete's Pond, and there was a wildebeest sitting on the bank, and they were eyeing up the wildebeest. And Patty wants to know, is it possible for hyenas to go after wildebeest, or would they need more clan members, or would they just not bother? Would they just prefer the scraps? And I think, again, just like Mark says, it really will depend on the circumstances. If they were hungry enough, they might have tried, although the wildebeest, it depends on the size of the hyena that you saw. If they're a young hyena, I doubt it. They'd be probably inexperienced. But apparently, now I didn't realise this, but apparently hyena can possibly take down a wildebeest by itself, an adult hyena. I would have thought they would need help at least. So 2 fully grown hyena could possibly take down a wildebeest. If they're hungry enough, they might have tried it. And as I say, they are hunters in their own right. They are very successful hunters in their own right. So it is possible. Okay, well, let's continue up Rebecca's Road. Maybe Karula went that way. Or maybe she went to drop the cubs off. Maybe the cubs are still here. Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I was actually going to mention the drive tomorrow morning. Okay, a few people are a bit worried. Please don't be worried. It's a once off. And what we're doing tomorrow is we're starting late at 9:30. So we're not going to do a full drive because we do need to get the batteries on charge again for the afternoon drive. So we're going to be heading out at 9:30 and we'll be out until about 10:30, maybe 11. We'll see how it goes. But we've been asked to do a special broadcast and it might help to increase the numbers of the drives. So it's actually to help save the drives. But with the problem that we've been having with the batteries recently, we didn't want to risk doing a full drive and then that being at the end, because we need to be on air between 10 and 10:30. So we didn't want to run that risk of losing these potential people in the last half an hour of drive. So that's why we decided, okay, we'll go out at 9:30 to make sure we've got enough battery power and to make sure that we've got no problems and that we're going to be live. It's a once off. On Tuesday, we'll go back to normal. Tuesday will be 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock. So hopefully that puts a few minds at rest. But as I say, it is all to help save the drives. So hopefully everything will go smoothly. Hopefully you can find a nice sighting tomorrow. That would be wonderful. Who is that, David, in the UK? The skateboarding baboon. I love it. It probably was, actually. Snakeboarding baboon. I like it. Maybe it was Huey. Huey came back. Chris and Tim and Connor over in Illinois. Welcome on board this evening. Oh, and Hunter, sorry, missed Hunter. Welcome on board this evening. I'm finding it interesting that you've never heard the zebra are not symmetrical, and is it the same as a human has a fingerprint? And it's exactly the same. Every zebra is unique. So you can actually, like we identify the leopards from the spots, you can potentially identify any animal that has a pattern like that. So stripes or spots, the giraffe, the kudu even with stripes, you can actually identify individuals with a different number of stripes and how the stripes fall. Some of them branch slightly. So it is possible. The hyena also have a different pattern, although slightly more difficult to identify each one, but still unique, just like a human's fingerprint. You can see they kind of follow a similar pattern, again like a human's fingerprint. There's different patterns that they all fall under. So that little triangle above the leg, and the stripes ending on the rump, and the stripes continuing on through the mane, that sort of thing. But there are the subtle differences. So I wonder how everybody's doing. Has anybody got 20 out of 20? 20 questions. Has everyone been on all the drives? But not to worry if you haven't. And if you do want to watch the archives, you're more than welcome. Play along on there as well. Andrew, come in.
Hello?
Any luck with Karula?
Lucy, yes, Kara. I came back again. I'm going through heading down along Rebecca's Road, so yeah, no luck yet.
Copy, yeah, I've just come up Rebecca's Road. I went to the Oldham BC Car and Filmans cut line as well. Just one in BC passing through there, but little else.
Is anybody saw any consul somewhere of Karula?
Negative, Lutu and Consul so far.
Thanks.
Let's have a quick stop by the Hyena Den while we're here, and we'll carry on towards Philemon's cut line, I think. And there is a special midden I still wanted to stop by at some stage, which will be another dung question. But unfortunately ran out of time again. I didn't head over that side, so I'll have to be next drive now. See, it could be Floppy Ear's been sourcing a new den site. Hello, little ones. a little bit of light there without shining straight on me. See, now this is the 4 that I was talking about earlier. These are the 4 that are roughly the same age, and I thought these 2 were floppy ears. And then the other female at the back there. Who's suckling. So unless I'm completely off and I've got it completely wrong, and these 2 are the youngest 2, and then these 2 are the middle 2 that are sitting away from the female. As I say, there didn't seem to be too much size difference when they first were born. Stations and BC Car, Zoe's Road is active.
Me on Rebecca's ring is the...
Copy that. Yeah, the BC Car is active. Oh,
Okay, couple of thanks. Just gonna go down again and see what's going on.
Can't resist. Here comes the other one. I'm coming to see you, Seb. On the other side. See the ears twitching, almost like satellite dishes. I'm going to be picking up the faintest cry, and that will also help them to locate a potential meal, because if there's a predator around who's just taken an animal, and if they can give a cry, or if they do call, then the hyenas are going to be able to hear it. Okay, there's another hyena coming in. Just see who it is. Oh, it's that younger one that we saw a little bit earlier. So obviously just on a lap. Oh no, it is. It's one of the older ones. Definitely a greeting going on there. And sniffing the genitals is a sign of respect. You can see going up to the adult to greet. So now I think this is possibly one of the youngsters from a female with the 2 notches, although it's slightly bigger actually, isn't it, Sept? Maybe it is older than what I think. Yeah, this one is actually quite big. Maybe about 1.5 to 2 years old, this one. Yeah, maybe about 2 years. I'll just see if I can pull back a little bit. Oh, there's Teddy. How bright is the picture? Is it a bit dark? Hello. I don't think that's Teddy's mum though, hey? Because I'm sure Teddy's mum is actually got less hair. Yeah. Sorry? No, it's walking away now. It's just greeting Teddy by the looks of it. So it could be that Teddy is quite high up in the ranking. Maybe its mother's quite high up in the ranking. Oh, Teddy! Yeah, that's Teddy. Sorry? Oh. Woken Teddy up. Oh, we've got a couple more. Here's the older 2. This is the 2. I thought might be that female with the 2 notches in her right ear. Look how the size difference between them. How much size difference? Yeah, I think that one is a 2-year-old. That one that came in. those two at the back are probably about a year and 3 or 4 months old, year and a half, so there's not much size difference between them. That one that came in, that one that's in the spotlight now, this one here walking, that one's about 2 years, and then you've got about a year and a half old there. So unless Floppy Ear is coming back, but I don't know, she looked pregnant. Those pups of hers would be about 10 months, maybe a year old. It could be that she's coming back to nurse them, but I don't know, something funny's going on. Something funny is definitely going on. And I think it would be quite interesting to see other hyena with her and see how they react to her. There was a couple of younger hyenas there today, but we didn't see them greeting her. They were already there when we arrived. Because if you see, the subordinate animal will go to the dominant animal and sniff the genitals. So that's how you can tell if an animal is dominant or not. Well, it could be that the Floppy Ear has been dethroned and the little one. Don't bite that, please. No. Thank you. What are you doing under there? I must admit, this is absolutely incredible. I mean, we've been here a few times, and to still have the youngsters coming up and being quite inquisitive. But you can see it's more just an interest rather than, you know, going to be using it for later on in life where they can actually terrorise people. But it's just an inquisitiveness, that natural curiosity of a child, coupled with the hyena. And they really will, you know, they'll try anything, and I think that's one of the reasons why they are so successful. But obviously if they get to that stage where they cross the boundary, then we do have to make sure that that boundary stays intact, just because if they do get older and they do push that boundary, then obviously they can become a lot more dangerous. But you can see they're actually walking away from the vehicle. They come back and sniff. Chasing an insect there. Standing by. Good, good. The MBC car is active. We're here at the moment. Yeah, no matata. But you can see that there's still that wariness. If there's a slight movement or a slight sound that they're not sure about, you can see they're actually moving away, and that's keeping that respect, that's keeping the boundary, and that's very important. And you can see as they get older, they lose that interest. They know, okay, well, we can't get food here. But what is really fantastic is that we're actually getting to see these interactions, and we're actually learning about the family, and I know Seb's really enjoying actually getting to understand all of that, and especially Teddy. He's the Pied Piper of the hyenas apparently. No, we need that. No. Thank you. We need that. Yeah, fantastic. Standing by?
Channel 1, please.
I'm on channel 1. Oh, something's happened. I can't hear you. Thought it was a bit quiet. Oh dear. Nope, not hearing. Unfortunately, I think we have come to the end of drive. I think that's what Mark's trying to tell me. Very odd. Just lost all communication with him. But unfortunately we are going to have to say goodbye. I think everybody's settling down now. So I'm hoping that we're going to be able to unravel this mystery about what's happening with Floppy Ear. Especially if she has been seen nursing the 2 cubs. Definitely quite an interesting one. So the saga will continue. But hopefully you can join us tomorrow. Let's say we're going to be tomorrow morning, 9:30 Central Africa time. We'll be out for an hour and a half, 2 hours or so. So I hope you can join us then. Mark will be heading out with Sebastian on camera, myself back in final control. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. And thank you so much for spreading the word. Let's keep those numbers up. It's brilliant to hear. Let's definitely keep it going and see if we can keep these drives going because I know there's so many of you out there that just enjoy them so much, and there's just something different to the documentaries you see. The fact that we can actually see what's going on for ourselves and see how life unfolds here in Djuma Game Reserve. And definitely that's part of the excitement of it. But thank you for answering all the questions I've sent you as well. I hope you've been doing well on the dung quiz. There'll be another instalment on Thursday, so do join us then. So tomorrow, 9:30 Central Africa time. Oh, I think someone's coming in, or something's happening. Let's just pull forward. I've got to see what this is. Everyone's running back to the den. I don't want to light up the curbs, but something is going on. Sorry, Sept, are you okay there? This is exactly what I was saying. Yeah, cubs are in the den. I'm not going to shine the light on the den. They must have heard something.
If you go wait along that road, has a couple of times, that's where you saw the floppy coming down. That's where the bomber was. And that floppy came out of them. Maybe it might be fun to the block or some of the here, but no control of going back.
All gone. Gone, not a single one. I wonder if they heard something. Maybe they heard somebody making a kill. I didn't hear anything, but then again, I don't have the ears of a hyena. And just the fact that the cubs ran for cover, but it could be because the adults started running and the sub-adults. Okay, well, we'll say goodbye here. If I bump into anything on the way through, then I shall let you guys know, but otherwise you'll see us tomorrow morning and hopefully we'll find out what just happened there. Maybe there'll be a kill around. But I can't hear anything. We'll listen out for contact calls, but as I say, I don't want to shine anything on the den just in case there's something around. Then that means that they, well, I doubt they would actually see them. They were just standing in the hole just watching and seeing, but just to make sure that they're protected. But take care everybody, we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.